And as this room fill up, be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know.
Let it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
All the same. Now it's here. Or shall I say, I am. Black Monday. Out of the nights that cover me, black as a pole, from pole to pole. Come on with it. Five, four. Cowboys doing due diligence before making a major coaching move. Come on. I thank God for my unconquerable soul. In the flail clutches of circumstances, I have not winced nor cried out loud. Come on, baby! Mama said that there will be days, literally, just like this. 5, 4, 3, 2. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight.
Original, they never will be. Take the money out, all of it. Come on. It's my time now. Come on.
And 1. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right, so Black Monday, supposed to be a day when you get the firing. Now, there's two philosophies with this, and I can hear Jerry out to a point. I can hear Schottenheimer out to a point. But when they said 10 to 12 days for evaluations of Matthew Eberflus, it's kind of like a far stretch, right? You had 18 weeks, and that's just for what it is. You had 18 weeks to do your proper evaluations of this particular guy, Matt Eberflus. And if you not really thinking about X, Y, and Z's, it shouldn't take 10 to 12 days. If you're not thinking about winning it all, then of course you say, well, hey, I'm going to wait 10 to 12 days before we make the proper evaluation, due to the simple fact that we want to make sure we cross all the T's and dot the I's. But the problem is with that, on your way of waiting, on your way of sitting back, it pushes everything else back 10 to 12 days, 14 days, 30 days, or what have you. Whereas I'm not saying that you fire Matt Eberflus and then you pick up the phone and then you hire the next coach without doing your due diligence. I'm not saying that, but you can do two things. You can fire Matt Eberflus, pack him on his way, and start to get into interviewing, right? You can go ahead and lay out the Rooney Rule, where you interview one minority candidate, get that out the way, two, by the way, and then you can go through the process of doing the proper evaluation for the nation, regardless of the situation. But the Cowboys, by them saying that they're going to wait, is going to push back everything. And I get it. What's 10 to 12 days? It's 7 days in a week, right? So that put the Cowboys at 18 times 7, 126, right? That's 126 days. You already had the days to do your evaluation, right? Yeah, that's 126 days. You already had that. If you really think about it, they already had 18 weeks. to do their evaluation. Even in the bye week, what you can make the necessary adjustments after the bye week. So the Cowboys, this is just my opinions. Let's not work backwards, right? Let's go ahead and figure out a way to work forward to this, man. And it's too early for draft talk. Yeah, you're right, Waymon. You got to. Clarence said this morning 10 to 12 days is made up. Well, it should have been 10 to 12 minutes. It shouldn't take that long, But since we are cookie cutter, pressed for time, ordeals come first, Eberflukes is gone. Is that breaking news or something? I'm looking at my phone here. I'm looking for the official news to be said and be done with, I still feel like there's a 75% chance that they would keep him. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons, they said, they was done with that crew over there, right? The Browns made the statement that they were done with their guys, Let the AI speak.
At JDiz $5. Due diligence my face with symbols on mouth. The Jones family gotta go, but no surprise. They family dollar VIPs when it comes to personnel.
It's rough, man. And y'all killing me over here on the other platforms. I know I haven't posted on the YouTube yet. But on the other platforms, man, boy, y'all are killing me. Here's the part whereas I'm just going to speak freely and then we'll do the rest of the show. It's just crazy how you guys will sit back and I'm not blaming all of you all just watch it, but collectively, when we do these mock drafts, and even though it's too early to do drafts, you do not, every year I got to say the same thing. You do not draft for needs. Let me say this again. You do not draft for needs, man. That's how you ended up with tacos. That's how you end up with Mozzie's. To a point, Tyler Guyton's. Yes, you can fool around. The trash can get a steak with CeeDee Lamb and Michael Parsons and things of that nature because it just fell right to us. But you do not draft for needs. And for some strange reason, no matter what I'll put out there, it is and it will be a situation where people say, hey, we need defense. We need defense. We need this draft to be all defense. It doesn't matter if we draft all defense. They will be all rookies learning. And as high as people are on Ruben Bain and as high as people are on, what's the other edge rusher, David Bailey, they can still be another Abdul Carter, like just for what it is. You never know who's going to be the creme de la creme coming out of the draft. And people so fixated on, hey, man, we got to draft, but let me just pull this out and so that people can understand. And you draft BPA, you go into the free agency for the needs and wants because these will be known commodities, And salute to the kicker from the Ravens. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Man, that's neither here nor there. Cowboys fans understand this clearly, though, when we got to go through the order of operation. First, before we declare drafting a player, going after free agency, there's a process that has to happen first. First, and then we can go into the meat and potatoes. Get you a defensive coordinator first. That's the number one thing, right? And then that defensive coordinator, he must evaluate what you already have here on this team. And then you go into the free agency with a purpose, with a plan. Fill in real needs based on the system that you're going to try to operate. Then you go into the draft and draft whoever fits that system or scheme / philosophy based off of your data, based off of what you've seen and what you need and what should propel you to the tops, right? And then you circle back and go into the free agency again. That's the after the draft free agency. But what the Cowboys been fixated on, and some of the fans are falling into the same trap, is that they saying the draft. We got to draft, Law. The draft, man, that's how we going to win. Oh, man, we going to have to go into the draft. No. How smart teams develop is that you got to have the combination of both. You do. You got to have it. Welch with the super chat. Law, do you agree a free agent pass rusher significantly improves the defense under the new identity led by the DC? Yes. The thing is, you definitely got to have the right kind of caliber defensive coordinator, right? And then you got to go into the situation of saying, okay, if you can't get the guy in the free agency, which I know we're about $20 million in the hole, you're going to have to restructure some contracts and stuff like that. But you got to figure that part out. And for those who really in tune to like the off-season talk, let me go to over the cap. And this is where we start off too. You got to make the hard decisions, make the hard cuts. You're going to have to figure out how you get out of the red. And it's very much so possible. Let me see where the Cowboys are at. We are $33 million in the chute. Yeah, we owe $33 million. So what's going to have to happen here is you're going to have to take some money, stretch it out. You start with your fat cow first. Your fattest cow would be Dak Prescott. You look at his contract, you got $60 million APY. He got some accelerators on his contract where he can shove and extend. He got some voidable years where you can stuff some of that money into the voidable years, give him some upfront signing bonus, and all of this stuff can work out. You got some movable pieces on Tyler Smith contract that you can touch. You got who else contract? Osa Diggy-Azua. You got contracts already, even with DeRon Bland, with the news that's been updated now that he ultimately will have his surgery on his foot. And he said that what's been giving him problems all season long. And it looked like it because the dude been Peter Road and moved around. So we were the ACL / no feet boys because, man, he looked terrible this season. Shout out to him, though. So he's going to get surgery on that. Of course, Tyler Smith will get surgery on his knee or something like that. I read earlier today.
At Regina Green, $427.05. Shati drove his campaign to be better than McCarthy, couldn't fix the red zone issues. He needs to be evaluated as well.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Regina. Now, evaluation, of course, he's going to have to get evaluated. And there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Majority of the money is on the offensive side. And, of course, the offense still finished out top 5 in most categories. Red zone been atrocious. Offensive line protection been atrocious. I get that part of it. Some politic games been really crazy with Schottenheimer being able to manage those two things there. I don't think that he gives you Pete Carroll type of energy for what the Raiders did, one and done. They already fired him. I don't think that you fire Schottenheimer, right? But what you can do is correct some of the things. But here's the problem. What general manager is doing that proper evaluation of him? When the general manager who hired Schottenheimer is pretty much saying, yes, I love that yes man philosophy, right? So if I told you all this year that, hey, I wanted Miles Sanders out there week 1, then he did that and he messed up, then that's on the GM. So that's one of the problems with this particular team. Extending Kenny Clark should be able to be priority. Yes, Cowboys, Rob, yes. If you do that, that would be a good thing. McCarthy, Schottenheimer, both stinks. This is from Dirty South Climbing. I think that what happened with these retread coaches outside of Schottenheimer, they get stuck in their ways. Mike McCarthy got stuck in his ways. Once he got the full reins to be the play caller, He got stalled a little bit. His 2023 was a whole lot different from 2024. I get it, the injuries and all of that stuff. But what happened with Mike McCarthy, I'm not trying to be an advocate for him, but I can tell that there's been some situations that he was gilded. He didn't have the gonads and stuff like that. So it's one of the things that's the part of the process when you get hired with the Cowboys. They snip you. So they snip you. They make you nutless over here, and that's unfortunately. But that's the trend. That's been the trend, and that's been going on with the Cowboys for a long time, not a short time. And unfortunately, but when we get back to the conversation at hand of what the Cowboys should operate with, I just came up with this right here, and I think it's way too small. Hold on, let me make it bigger. Pause if necessary. Well, no, I can go to another angle. Let me go here, ESPN. And what I'm going to look at right here is this is the NFC. The NFC right here. And on top of that, it's not like Mike McCarthy first year was a marvelous year, by the way. Same song and dance, right? Shoot, terrible defense. Offense looked like they was going to do something, but the defense was just terrible, So if anything, some symmetries over here, some synchronicities over here, you will have to say to yourself, that's a word that I made up, you had to say to yourself, man, these boys look just the same at their first year here at the Cowboys. What I was trying to say on a post, and I got a lot of heat from this for some strange reason. I said, man, if the Cowboys fixed their defense this season, man, we could have been right up here to play. This would have been an easy shoot for us. Now, granted, people looked at this and said, you know what, in 2023, you said the same thing. No, 2023, we had obvious insufficiencies as it relates to stopping the run, right? I'm talking about a real good defense. If we had, let me borrow the Seattle Seahawks defense for a chance, Let me borrow the Bears or to a degree, even what the Rams was able to do on defense. Let me borrow some of that defense for what we were doing offensively speaking. Man, we right here. The Cowboys only lost by 3 points to the Panthers. It's not like it, and we beat the Eagles. Yeah, the Bears jumped out in front of us. We tied with the Packers. Man, we right here. I can envision this team if and I know if was a fifth, man, we all got doggone drunk. You know what I'm saying? Off of these ifs. But what I'm saying here is that when you look back at everything, this whole entire season was to be damned due to the simple fact that we didn't take care of the other side of the ball. And that's defense. But there are still people that will sit back and say, man, Law, it's Dak Prescott. He's still the problem. He's the issue. Law is Dak Prescott. Bro, did y'all see the season? We gave up 511 points. Let me say this again, and I get it. Offense stalled out in red zone situations. But we gave up 511 points. I read somewhere no team did that in 66 years. If you're older than 66, put a 1 in the chat. There should be nobody in here. If you're older than 66, if you're 67, 68, man, appreciate you. But I get it. I get it, if you want to put Dak Prescott on the forefront and say, man, he got to play better. And somebody tried to use the analogy of, man, if you look at the Ravens versus the Steelers last night, Law, both of those quarterbacks was able to go back and forth with each other. Don't you know if we had that kind of caliber of defense, it would have been a blowout. Yeah, if Dak Prescott had any of those two teams' defense plus what he was able to do, he would have blew out those teams. Yeah, so it's crazy. We got Jack says Cowboy fans going to be rooting for the Niners this upcoming week. You pathetic mother effers, That is, I got two brothers. One is an Eagle fan and one is a 49er fan. I ought to put them two on a live stream together, and we all just go live stream together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes, indeed. We gave up 476 points with Mike Nolan, right? Yeah. I think Mike Nolan will give the run for the money for Matt Eberflus and his defense. Yes, indeed. Defense matter. All right, so here's before I play this other audio clip. I really want to say that so many people gave me heat for this situation here. When I talked about Jeremiah Love, what I'm doing here is when I do my evaluations, my top 15, or when I start doing my draft, I'm gonna stop it right around 50. I'm not these type of draft guys that do 100 players and 120 to 300 players. I'm not that guy, right? But one thing I don't like to do is me carving up some tape and footages and film, and all of a sudden that person get drafted to the Saints. That person get drafted to the Chiefs or something, right? So I'm trying to get it down to as short as possible, evaluate about 50 to maybe 80 guys that's coming out of the draft this season, and give you guys the real sauce on what need to happen, right? Now, my assessment on Jeremiah Love, who is by far the best running back in this draft. You can fight amongst yourselves of who's better than him. I feel you on that. But the reason why I said that, we go on BPA philosophy. If Jeremiah Love is there, he would help your team more so than hurt your team. And for the life of this is not a knock on Javonte Williams. This is not a knock on Jadon Blue, who y'all giving a lot of credit to in this last game. I'm going to read that Swayze in a few. This is not a knock on Phil Maffa, but this is a finite thing that can help your team if you bring in the kind of caliber of running back like a Jeremiah Love times the fact that if you want to bring back Javonte Williams, you would have to sign him to another small contract, because I don't want us to be knee-jerky and say, okay, let's give Javonte Williams $15 million APY. No, you don't do that, by the way. He had a nice year this season or what have you. Still fumbled the ball a little bit too much to my liking, but I would take what he brings to the table, times it by Jeremiah Love, and that can also help out your defense when you can control the clock, when you can run at will and be the opposing team to establish that. And now you can say to yourself, you have 4 to 5 years with a Jeremiah Love, and then when it's over with, you don't re-sign Jeremiah Love. You fool around and put him on the trading blocks or what have you, but you do not re-sign him to his second contract. That's how I'm looking at it. 4 to 5 years, you got the most dynamic running back in this game, and you add that to your offense. Your offense have the ability to be super elite. Your offense have that ability right now if you do that. What about have the same conversation with Shotty next year? We would never be successful until Jerry realized the head coach position is important. I agree. I do absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Yes, indeed. This is from the GOAT, Anton the GOAT, Lord 6860. He states, no, but deserve a contract with the YPC accumulations, yards per contact or yards per accumulation. I don't know. Carroll is 74 years old. Hell no. Pete Carroll, who's advocating for Pete Carroll? Yeah. Yeah. Pete Carroll long in the tooth. That's a long tooth right there. Williams get hurt a lot. Yeah. And after a dynamic year like this year for Williams, Javonte Williams, by the way, you also have to look over to the other side and say, well, Saquon Barkley, who's getting paid $20-something million, had a fantastic year the year before and looked like he looked this year. They could easily be us if we putting all our chips in the basket to run this back and never identify what we need at running back and say, yeah, man, we saw what Jaden Blue was able to do against the Giants. That can be him. No. To this point, even Jaden Blue is injury prone. So you got to really pay attention. And I'm not saying it's Jeremiah Love or bust, but what I'm saying is just make sure we do our due diligence and we comb through every player and every possibility. I do love the fact when people say, well, the player won't be there at 12. Well, if you run it through the simulation, that's all I can do. I can only go by what the simulation said. And speaking of the simulation, ran one earlier, and you had Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Davison, not going to try to pronounce his last name, Drew and them, and then Stanquan Clark, a linebacker from Louisville. But I get a lot of people say, hey, man, he won't be there. Well, as good as Caleb Downs is, Derwin James was just as good. Derwin James fell all the way to the 15th to the 16th slot, give or take. And I'm not comparing Caleb Downs to Derwin James, but Caleb Downs going into the league would wish and love to be as good or as better or into the same atmosphere of a Derwin James. So what I'm saying is that let's not think that these guys will not slip in the draft. Let's not think that the underwear Olympics, when it's time for the combine to hit, that some guys may increase their numbers and some guys may lower their number, right? When more and more information get out there. So when we do these think pieces, it's not the fact that this is the only way that we got to go. There'll be 1,000 mock drafts. There'll be 1,000 this and 1,000 that, Cowboy Nation. And you just got to make sure that the draft of 2026 is clicking on the things that you really, really want. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Let's get to the conversation that I think I pulled it up right here. Let me see.
What happens once we get back to Dallas? And I know that there are exit interviews for the players, but from the GM standpoint, what are the first things that happen when the season ends?
Well, we get the complete roster. We start analyzing the roster immediately for what we want to look like as we not only move into the draft and into free agency, but we want to look at that. We'll spend a lot of time, I will, on what we do with evaluate our coaches, evaluate how we can improve everything that, and we've got a lot of room for improvement. But be quite a busy off season for us in this next month or so as we evaluate total team, and that's just not coaches, that's players, that's everything we've done, personnel, what we've done. All of it will be a very busy time for us.
Busy is a good word to use, but sense of urgency is a better word to be able to put into this process, because the Cowboys rarely put the process of sense of urgency on the table. And I'm not saying just rush and go and get somebody, but the evaluation process is what Stephen Jones say it should be is 365. Well, what are you evaluating for week to week? One of the things that when I was working for the public sector here, we used to have to be able to put people on PIPs, performance improvement, meaning that throughout the year, we see where you are at before the end time of the year. You would have to hit these particular measures, numbers, and if not, your performance do not improve or what have you, it will result into an overall score that you are able to see. But you're not blindsided by it because we put down a list of expectations before that point arrived, right? And one of the things that a lot of people fail to realize is difficult. It's understandable that you may be late for some days of work, right? But we're looking at patterns. We're looking at consistencies. We're looking at things to say, hey, you messed up here. We gave you a clear guideline of the levels of expectations we want from you. But there's thousands of people with every excuse. My dog ate the homework, right? Or the dog ate the assignment. I caught a flat on the way to the job. That's why I was late. Oh, man, I wanted to change my shirt because I spilled mustard on it, right? Oh, I had to stop, make a quick check to get gas and all of this stuff. We evaluating, processing all of that thing. We're not waiting for the last day of the year to sit back and talk to you about your levels of production. That's management. That's leadership. That's all of those things 101. And this is what it's supposed to be about. We don't supposed to be talking about evaluating Matt Eberflus now. We got to review now. That review should be week 4. You should have been looking at things. And then looking back at week 8 to see what you corrected from week 4. And then from week 16 or 12, you're looking back at week 8 and saying, okay, we talked about this on many levels. That's leadership management. Don't y'all get it? 5 head coaches now fired. Need our former defensive coordinator to be in the boot too. Or be in the boat too. You're right. Or get in the boot. Yes, indeed. So the lack of sense of urgency, too many things thrown at Jerry, I think that throws it off. Now, he probably know everything about Netflix. He probably know everything about the other reality shows. He probably already pre-planned that cruise to go around the world on that yacht.
What happens once we get back to Dallas? And I know that there are exit interviews for the players, but from the GM standpoint, what?
You know, Dallas might have been in a situation defensively. It might have been another one of those shootouts that they had earlier in the season with the way that Dallas's defense was playing. So there was really no guarantee if you had to go find a way to win this game. It's been this way all year long with this defense. They just do not fit well. They do not tackle well. They do not cover well, and they get absolutely no pressure. So now what it turns into, and Babe Laufenberg said it, you might have to go out and get 6 or 7 new starters. And it's just not going to be, okay, let's show up and draft and hope for the best, with those picks we're talking about with 11 and 20. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to do more. This season and how bad your defense has been is likely going to force you to go out and spend money.
Yep.
And try, and I'm not talking about bottom fishing money.
No, you got to get starters.
Yeah, you got to go.
Players
yeah, you got to absolutely go.
That's a good, brilliant point from Brian Broaders. You got to absolutely go. We got to do the difficult things. Meaning that you got to first clear up some of the money too. But before you clear up some of that money and move it around, you got to get that DC in the building. One of the things you don't want to do is clear up money on somebody on the defense, extend and stretch and pull, and you hire a new defensive coordinator, and they don't fit your system. They don't fit what you're trying to do here. So, first and foremost, find that DC. I know it's a lot of work, but that's what it's supposed to be about. Jerry, it's supposed to be a lot of work. The teams that's in the postseason now, they put in a lot of work around this time. They did. They didn't make no shortcuts. They didn't take no loops of saying this for that. No, it's a lot of work. And you are not doing the work. You got too many hands in the pot. Alex Loomis, Will McClay, Chris Hall and all of those boys, Chris Vaughn, Deuce Vaughn, father, and all of those boys. It's a lot of work. And none of those guys can move without your permission. None of these guys can operate with autonomy without your permission. You and Stephen Jones. And people fail to realize in leadership and management, when I was able to sit said person down and go through the performance improvements and level out all of this stuff. I copy and CC all of that to the HR, to their immediate supervisor, to their team lead, and said to them, hey, these are the things that they must improve on. We had a verbal. We also have a written. They sign off on it. And if these things are not met, guess what? Adios. It's a lot of work, a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff that goes back and forth. You don't have the time, Jerry. And I know you don't have the time. So you push it off to someone else, and they may be sitting there talking and trying to give their evaluations of you and review of you, and they can't make the final decision. That's why we've been having subpar stuff for the last 30 years, 30 seasons. Takes time, man. And you can tell the people that take shortcuts.
And folks on the text are asking us to hammer Jerry about the offseason and spend money. I think you got Jerry Jones's attention. I think Jerry Jones looking at this season right now at 82 years old, not guaranteed tomorrow. And I know that sounds morbid in a way to say, but if, in fact, he has got to do something different, and he has the capability of doing that. He could tell Steven and Will, hey, this is what we're going to do. You find ways to spend the money. Let's evaluate the players. But if they don't, then absolutely, Jerry Jones needs to continually get hammered. And I think that we do hammer Jerry Jones on
not
things.
Just drinking, Jerry.
I think there are a lot of questions that he was responsible, him and Will and Steven responsible for the hire of Matt Eberflus. And they thought Matt Eberflus was going to do a really, really good job. And Matt Eberflus has, for the most part, before and previous stops, has done a good job. Maybe that should tell you that your players that you have are not good enough.
Amen.
Too.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a combination of the two.
And you better go out and fix that. And I think this season got his attention for that.
No doubt. I mean, we all been there, man. You thought that you had something and it wasn't there. And we can use every billable excuse possible. We can. We can flat out say, hey, man, it was a rookie head coach, right? One excuse. We can say, oh, man, there was injuries all littered throughout this team. That's two. Right? You can say, man, we lost a player, man, who took his own life on his team. That's three, right? But no matter how many excuses you throw at, there's some people that make those same excuses and they turn them into results of competing and getting the job done. Chicago Bears, to a point. Not to say that they made any excuses this season. But damn it, didn't they? Yes or no? Did they have a rookie head coach? Yes, right? Did they have injuries to some point on their defense? Yes. Jalen Johnson out for a majority of the season, 8 games, 9 games, right? Did they have some hiccups throughout the year? Yes. They playing with a second-year quarterback. You see how these things can go? Anybody can use those excuses. But they roll up their sleeves and they made it happen. That's why they're in the postseason. That's why they continue to play. You can live on the excuse angle all day, right? But what are the facts of the matters for what you can do to get out of those excuse-making businesses, right? Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Get out of that mindset and get things done. Right? And that's what you got to do. Get out the way.
He's the man that kicks all.
I'm not going to talk about that part. If
you're evaluating just him as a year one head coach, and he'd be the first one to say it. I think he gave a C to himself when Brad asked him about that.
You know what? I'll tell you what, and I'll say this about Shoddy, and he is a very likable guy. And he's gonna, the media. I mean, Todd Archer asked, I thought, a really good question, like why are certain guys staying on the field and other guys coming off the field?
Yeah.
And Shotty's going to stand up there and he's going to give you an answer and he's going to be really personable and he's not robotic like Jason Garrett or like a jerk like Mike McCarthy. He's going to give you like this answer and he's going to be a likable guy. And that's, sometimes, the likable guy is like, I know myself when we were 5-11 the 3 straight years, and I admit that now here as when I'm doing media
all
work.
The time.
So
you tell Dave Campo anytime you see him, you apologize to him.
I apologize to Cowboys fans for not doing a good enough job. And I mean that with all sincerity. I wonder sometimes with these coaches that tell, well, it starts with me. Well, of course it does start with you. And you need to evaluate why you weren't very good in the red zone. Mm-hmm. Why were you guys so bad on defense? Were you trying to tell, why? And Brad Cham even brought it up. Why didn't you, as a head coach, walk into Matty Eberflus's office and say, hey, listen, we've got to play more of this. We've got to blitz more.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice guys. Can y'all put where they finish at? Mm-hmm. I like Schottenheimer. I do like the approach that he brings to the table, but at some point with his defense and the inability to make the adjustments, that's on his resume too. This as much as we get mad at Matt Eberflus.
At Quentin Warner C1's $9.99. Law that has been the problem. Most of these people in your chat don't want to hold this owner accountable. He's moving different as bull sugar. Owner wants to be owner. GM player evaluation.
That's a mouthful right there. Because when you take your owner hat off, you got to be the GM. And then when you take your GM hat off, you got to be the owner. Now, the illusion part of it is that, hey, people would say it worked before. They would say, man, Jerry is very successful. He got 3 rings or what have you. But no, when we do our research and we look at everything, and I'm more calm today than I was yesterday. But when you look and do your research, Dr. Q is spitting nothing but the truth. Here's the reason why I say that. Jimmy Johnson had more of the player evaluations and GM duties the first few years. They relinquished that power once Jimmy was gone. And just for revisionist history and going back, and I hate bringing up old stuff, but just to be fair to everything, Troy Aikman and the rest of those guys in 95, 96 season basically were able to pull from Jimmy Johnson, not from Barry Switzer. So that's where we're at collectively. That's where we're at. So you're right. It's difficult to do the evaluation. It's easier to say, hey, man, that's Will McClay and Alex Loomis' job, right? Or to a degree, that's Stephen Jones' job. No. Ultimately, it's Jerry Jones' job to do the proper evaluation because he holds the title. He who remains, man. Come on, man. All right.
We can't play soft zone coverage and give up big plays. Where's the account? He says the accountability starts with him, but I wish there would have been a little bit more of that, that we would have seen him like saying, "Oh yeah, it's my fault, this, that, and the other."
Yeah.
But did he really ever do anything about it?
If you're evaluating just
that's shit. Brian Brothers did that one on that one. He did. What are you doing about it as the head coach, right? Likeable head coaches that wanted, I would say, likable head coaches that won it all. I'm only thinking of did Dick Vermeil ever won a championship ring? I think he was very likable. Barry Switzer was very likable too, to win it all. And I'm not saying that just because Schottenheimer is likable that he can't win it all. You know what I'm saying? But he got to use some of them teeth and bite back, man, to some of these things. Who's a very likable, bubbly coach, man, that won it all? Maybe I don't know if the Harbaughs are they likable to a degree. You got me thinking like Tony Dungy. He didn't talk much, but man, he gave you that stare. Very quiet guy, but he was very in tune to this game as it relates to coaching, right? Dr. Q states that's why they underachieve year in and year out. Hell, you might as well come get me from the radiologist ward. Yeah, you're right. Andy Reid, Tony Dungy, Vermeer won in 99. Mike Tomlin. No, I think Mike Tomlin, he'll go at you, man. Bubbly, he's not bubbly at all. Sean Payton, oh my God! If you know Sean Payton, I had got a chance to talk to Andre Gerard. Pete Carroll is a great example. Jeff Fisher. Oh my gosh, man. But back to Sean Payton. Oh my God, Sean Payton is a baby Bill Parcells, man. He's a baby Bill Parcells to a degree. Yeah. But Mike Tomlin, he's a guy that I'll never forget that he stood at the end of the tunnel. They got blown out by a team. He stood at the end of the tunnel with a scowl on his face, balled up like a piece of paper. And he said he looked at everybody in their eyes while they were walking out of the tunnel to see if they were still man. I said, man, ooh, that doggone Mike Tomlin. Even though, I hope that the Steelers lose, be one and done. I can't stand the Steelers just as much as I can't stand the Eagles and the damn 49ers. But that Mike Tomlin, boy, he got a little bite to him. Tom Landry was very strict. Hell, Tom Landry didn't want nobody to have facial hair on the team. Yeah, you had facial hair, you get fined, man. Tom Landry was different. Sean McVay. Shoot, let me tell y'all something. That little tree that came from the Washington team, that Kyle Shanahan tree, them boys got a little grit to them. Believe it or not. Mike Shanahan tree, right? Because not Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan. Go look up the coaching roster from 2011 or 2012. They had Sean McVay, they had Kyle Shanahan, they had the Mike McDaniels. All of them had that same type of trait. Now, Mike McDaniels is the weaker out of the two. One can argue, what's the guy named, he was there too, coaches for the Green Bay Packers. His name, LaFleur, whatever his name. Yeah, LaFleur was there. All of those guys got the same personality trait to a degree. Dan Quinn, he's a very likable guy. Yeah. Can you imagine if you had this same type of makeup? We'd probably be a different type of team altogether if you had Brian Schottenheimer and Dan Quinn as your DC. It would have been a whole different situation. Oh yeah. Okay.
The whole game yesterday, you have more time to think about these things, I guess, when there's not anything on the line. But it's just every single snap on defense, I was just kind of annoyed that knowing Matt Eberflus was still here and calling plays. I was just like, you shouldn't be here. You should have never been here.
What he did in that press conference before the game, I almost tweeted out the F word. I felt like with Eberflus saying, no, there's nothing I would have done differently. I felt like only someone who's trying to really gaslight and tick you off would say something like that. For Flus to sit up there and say that, the amount of stubbornness, and that drove me insane. And I was mother effing my computer reading that.
Get
out of here. I don't know why Nico was at the Cotton Bowl randomly the other night. Matt Eberflus can get his ass on the same Nico lift out of town and get out of here. Because for him to say that was infuriating. I don't think I would do anything different. That is why the Cowboys made a mistake in hiring him, because that
would be immediate grounds to fire him. Like, I know coaches, they get in their ways of thinking that, hey, my way is the best way. I don't need to change up anything. That would be grounds to fire him. If I can do it all over, when people say, if I can do it all over again, I'll do it the same way. Well, playmaker ain't what I need him, man. You know, oh my God.
Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
No doubt, I'm not. You know, so if you saying I'm gonna do it all over, no way. No way. Get him immediate fire. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do it. No. I don't want the rest of it.
He got asked in February, what do you believe differently since you were last in Dallas? And he said just really changing, molding the scheme based on the players' skill sets, based on what you have.
Wishful thinking. From Dr. Q, let me read that right quick. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Wishful thinking. States here, would love for one of those Walton kids to purchase this team as the Denver did. Sean Payton is having fun. Football people working. Yeah. Yeah. The Walmart Cowboys, you know. Yes, indeed. They got the if you ever been to the stadium out here in AT&T in Arlington, they got a Walmart right beside the stadium, and they got everything Cowboys galores. You know, they would love that. Yeah. Walton guys of the family can definitely buy this team. Outside of the guy that was it Bezos, who owns like Amazon, Elon, you know, all of those boys. Elon Musk that owns Tesla and all of that, you know. Boy, if Elon buy the Cowboys, when the sunlight beam through, the stadium automatically fully rotates and fly off to another side of the city. Yeah, he'll have all type of robotic stuff going on, man. Yeah, somebody else buying this team would be a nice thing, but Jerry Jones, they looking at this is their cash cow. The only way that they move on from here is if the simple fact that Jerry Jones going away and the love affair for this team goes and dissipate, and Charlotte Jones saying to herself, like, I don't want to do this, and Jerry Jones Jr. saying, hey, I don't want to do this, and Stephen Jones, the brother of Jerry, who also the son, who say, hey, man, I just want to cash out and go to Dubai somewhere. Yeah, that would work probably. You know, the Saudis, baby, the Saudi boys. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
Now everyone's going to ask, whose call will it be? Whose call was Eberflus? Everyone's been trying to figure that out. And then whose call will this be?
I think it'll be Shoddy's. Here's the thing. This was said right after McCarthy left. Somebody with the Cowboys had told me Mike never knew how big his voice was in the building. He didn't know how much power he had to wield. And so a lot of times he just assumed there wasn't power for him to wield, and he didn't understand he did have power. That if he would have just said something, they would have done it. I think similarly, Shoddy last year probably had it suggested. I was like, yeah, sure. And it's late, and probably you don't want to fight on the very first decision. But
head coaches don't know their power? Shoot. That's why I said, man, the only thing that really got me mad at Mike McCarthy when he was here on his final years is that he didn't move his weight around enough, you know. Move your weight around, man. Speak out for the things you want. One thing they can't tell you, no or hell no, you're getting fired anyway. Go down with the ship on your way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of these guys, where the boldness at from these guys, man? I guess that's what Matt Eberflus said. Shoot, y'all gonna fire me anyway. I'm doing it my way. I guess Matt Eberflus, he understood the assignment. You know, oh, nobody want me? Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to still do it my way. 90 instead of 92% zone, I'm doing 99. 99% zone. Oh, y'all talking about my D-line? Y'all saying that I don't blitz? How about I never blitz? Huh? I guess that's what Matt Eberflus was saying. Oh, y'all gonna try to do this to me? Okay, I got you. I ain't never blitzing. We ain't never going home. This zone-based defense is going to work on my watch. Hell or high water. That's what happened, man. Yeah, true story. I guess that's what happened with that man. Yeah.
If he would have said, I think last year, I don't want Matt Eberflus, I don't think they would have hired Matt Eberflus. I think they suggested it, and he was like, sure. So I think I think he's probably learned from that, as people do in their first year of their jobs. And he, I imagine, is going to say, I want this. I need this on that side of the ball. And those concepts, then you can start narrowing down what coaches fit that.
Now everyone's.
Yeah. Geo Williams states, we gave up 186 points more than the Filthy. That's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points. 186 worthy, man. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points we gave up. A lot. People fail to realize. Yeah. That's a lot of points gave up. And if you do, Gio, do me a quick analysis. How many points did the Eagles score? You know what I'm saying? Compared to us, how many points did they score compared to us? I need to know that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, how many points is that all together? You know what I'm saying? And somebody else do me a quick math. Somebody do me a quick math. If it's 186 points, let's do a quick math. 7 divided by 186, because it's 7 points, like a touchdown. Quick math would be like 24, 25. Can somebody do that? That's 25 touchdowns. Let me know if I'm right. That's 25 touchdowns. 186 divided by 7. That's 25 touchdowns. Look, no, is it 27? That's damn near 27 touchdowns. More that we don't, Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay, we had 479 points. Okay, J Diz says 26.5. So round it up. 186 divided by 7 is according to Verdi is 27. That's 27 touchdowns. You just calculate that, y'all. Or 26 to 27, give or take. 26, 27 touchdowns. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's how terrible we were this past season. That's crazy.
I was going to ask whose call will it be? Whose call was Eberflus? Everyone's been trying to figure that out. And then whose call will this be?
I think it'll be Shoddy's. Here's the thing. This was said right after McCarthy left. Somebody with the Cowboys had told me Mike never knew how big his voice was in the building. He didn't know how much power he had to wield.
Well, move your weight around, because as a coach here, whew, I'm thinking, out of all of the available offensive minds that's available right now, who? Let me see if I can pull that list up. Will any of these guys be better? Would any of these guys be better than Schottenheimer? Of the availables. Let me see if I can find any availables. I know there was a list out there. Where's the offensive list at? I know it got to be somebody with an offensive list that's available. Where do I go? I go to CBS transactions somewhere. Let me go right here. If you were to do that, and I'm not saying get rid of, I'm not saying you get rid of Schottenheimer. Maybe y'all know. Okay. Head coaching job. I saw a list somewhere of the available offensive minds right now. Do y'all have any of the available offensive minds that's open right now? Who would you get? And I'm talking about somebody who's been fired. I know Kevin Stefanski. I don't know if he's an offensive mind. I just know that Jim Schwartz running that team. Only person. Queso says the only person is John Harbaugh if he gets let go. That would be the only person you would take over Schottenheimer, right? That is something to think about. That is something to wrap my mind around. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just speaking. Kevin Stefanski. You would take Kevin Stefanski over Schottenheimer right now. Offensive-minded person, right? Just listen to Stephen A. Smith, Cowboy fan. I don't know about that, Sally. Yeah. So out of all of them, and they had the 32nd ranked offense this past season, and look at the people that they had, they'll be kind of crazy, right? I don't think that the Cowboys would do the one and done type of thing with Schottenheimer. They want to build this. They want to make sure that they're right. They got the need to be right, too, by the way. Kevin doesn't let Shador play. Okay, Stefanski, yeah. So, yeah, give me Schottenheimer over Kevin Stefanski. And we'll see how that works. Give me Schottenheimer. I wouldn't want Kevin Stefanski. But you neither here nor there. It's just wasting time right here.
The names are lining up.
Yep.
The names are being added to the list as we speak.
Hold on. Let Ken Dorsey call plays. He got a little fire in him, you know. Ken Dorsey might can, but let's listen to this right quick.
Have now maybe Jim Schwartz with Kevin Stefanski getting run out of there. Raheem Morris got fired yesterday. Is one of the names you mentioned his DC?
Yeah, so Raheem Morris, his defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, and then I think somebody else to watch there.
Was Ulbrich the Jets intern?
Yeah, he was the Jets defensive coordinator. So on the Hard Knocks Jets stuff, he was the really passionate, player-driven defensive coordinator. The defenses got worse in New York when he left. The Falcons got better this year when he got there. He's been a solid defensive coordinator. Some of the names that are out there, I think Raheem Morris, Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, and their defensive passing game coordinator in Atlanta, Mike Rutenberg. Rutenberg is the one that I think might bear watching. He's somebody who trained with Gus Bradley, and Gus Bradley came from that Seattle system that the Cowboys liked with Chris Richard and Dan Quinn.
The names are lining up.
Yep.
Let's see.
The names are lining up.
All right, so they just double post. All right, so that's the guy I want. Get back to that screen right there. Yeah, that's the guy right here. I'm definitely, shout out to Sean and RJ, and shout out to Bobby Belt, too. Yeah. That's the guy I want, Jim Schwartz. I think that, the Browns made a statement saying that they would love to bring him back. They want him as the coach still there, not elevating him to the head coach role. But, hey, Jim, I know you up there in Cleveland, Ohio, could be thousands of things to do. But Texas, man, come on, man. Dallas got better weather, man. Come on, man. Come on down. If we get Jim Schwartz, if we get a chance to get Jim Schwartz, times Brian Schottenheimer, I would then just only talk about the players. I would then only put things on the players, especially on the defensive side of the coin. I would literally go into the mindset of saying it's the players. Because I know his scheme is a proven scheme that gives you top 5 productivity as it relates to defensive coordinations. That's what I would say.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code LONG. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
No doubt, download Sleeper. Use promo code LAW. With that being said, 25, no, not 25, but $20 for me to you will be added to your account. Well, the extra 5 may be if we do some things for you on down the stretch, but neither here nor there. Once you deposit $100, they will match up to $100 on your first initial deposit. So be sure to reach out to our proud partners, Sleeper, the #1 fantasy app in the world. And this is the reason why I said Jim Schwartz. All right, so the results are in from this game this weekend. He will finish out this season with the 32nd offense, but matched up with the second-ranked defense in the National Football League. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm thinking of a 3 to 4 year contract with Jim Schwartz. I'm throwing him some money, and I'm saying, hey, I'm old, I'm tired, I need for some identity to be here. I still got to be the big man on campus. But if I can just bring you in, and if you can just bring that level of defense, I know we don't have a Myles Garrett, but we can get shades of Myles Garrett to a smaller degree with Max Crosby, who's right there. He's not a Myles Garrett type, though, but he's right there close enough. They live on the same street, basically. That's what I would do. And I get the I get the boogie in from there. Just for references, let me pull up my Cowboys, man. Let me pull up P and pull up a Cowboys. I just like the way. Shout out Zeke, man. Look at Zeke want to pull up, man. Get out the way, Zeke. Get out the way, Zeke. All right. And this is where we were at on defense. Tied for 28, so we ain't that bad, huh? We tied with somebody. I'll go into this draft since we got all of these draft picks. And on top of that, think about this. As much as we can dog out the fact that Jim Schwartz, he had Myles Garrett, but he never had a Quentin Williams. He never had a Quentin Williams too. So we got to contextualize all of that. Shoot, give me him. Give me Jim Schwartz and them, man. Shout out to people saying, let's go Miami. Shout out to Miami, whatever Miami is doing with that. And I want to be able to give my guy flowers. Foots the King came out with his top 25 board, and he's already 50 players deep. So that's good for him. I'm only about 5 or 6 players deep. I'm not that deep yet. But shout out to him. He got number 1, Caleb Downs, as his person. Ruben Bain Jr. as the number 2. Fernando Mendoza. Low down dirty shame. Mendoza. David Bailey. Avril Reese. Jeremiah Love. Peter Wood. Dante Moore. Jaden Tyson as the wide receiver. Keldrick Falk as number 10. TJ Parker at number 11. Pay attention to that name, TJ Parker. So when we go to Tankathon, let me pull up Tankathon real quick. If I can spell. Oh, I put an H in there. I'm putting Tankathon. Tankathon. We got, these are the picks. What happened every year, and I'm telling y'all the truth, because the draft process, I love the draft process because everybody wants to be right. Nobody's wrong about their favorite player or the school they went to. I get it. You know, everybody write about the guys that they want. But I come here to tell y'all, every year around this time, people say this person won't be there, that person won't be there. One thing that you can absolutely book would be Mendoza. Trey says he's the true number one. Yeah. I've seen this too many times. There will be teams that will overanalyze the draft selection. There'll be a guy that's going to probably run a 4.19 in the 40. Yeah. A 4.19. He's faster than Dion. Watch. It's going to be somebody that's going to run a 4.19. It's going to be somebody with extreme measurables. It's going to be somebody that can take a football and throw it Indian style, sitting at the 50-yard line and can hit the goalpost, right? And they're going to be like, this guy came from nowhere. He's a can't-miss prospect. There's going to be teams that's going to draft a quarterback, believe it or not, even if they already got a quarterback. So out of these guys on the top 12 pick, which one of these teams more than likely is going to draft a quarterback that's going to slide back? Which one of these teams? Because there's going to be a team. It happened every single year. It's going to be a good player that's going to slip right down to the 12th spot. Now, it'd be hard pressed for them to slip all the way to the 18 and 19. It's kind of hard for that to do. But every year, who out of these teams, do the Vegas need a quarterback? Do the Jets need a quarterback? Arizona, Cleveland, are they in the quarterback sweepstakes? Kansas City Chiefs, are they trying to move off from Pat Money Mahomes? Do Cincinnati need quarterback insurance? Do Miami need quarterback insurance? So what we're trying to do here with the 12th spot and do our due diligence on this beautiful show is we want the quarterback run to get running, right? And I'm looking at this chart. Right here. And we got a quarterback here at the number 3 spot. He's definitely your QB1 out of this draft. Mendoza. He probably get drafted in the first pick with the Vegas Raiders or what have you. Where's the other quarterback at? Is this his name from Oregon? He's going to get drafted before the 12th spot possibly. You know, somebody else, maybe, and you know, always offensive linemen too, tackles, as well as guards. They might get taken up really right before the 12th spot in the 12th selection. So I just want y'all to know, for those who say, hey, man, Love won't be there, Avril Reese won't be there, how do you know? Hell, Ruben Bay can drop, to a point. Let them come by measurables. Let people think outside of their own minds and say, hey, man, he's good, but he got short arms. Who remember the story of a guy named Jalen Carter? You would never thought that he would drop that far, but he had some strange things to happen. A car wreck, drinking and driving, but he wasn't driving, but they thought he was driving. Somebody got, some early wings to go to see the creator and all of this stuff. Things can happen, man. Carnell Tate is weak and afraid of hits. I mean, he a wide receiver, is he? Most of the wide receivers like that. They don't want to get hit. You saw how small Moss was? Moss was really small. Randy Moss. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking hypothetical, but though, by the way. Seattle upgraded from Geno to Darnold. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Sam Darnold, appreciate you. Tennessee, shout out to Tennessee. They ain't looking for a quarterback. They just drafted one, right? Yeah. But I'm just speaking in general. But going back to this right here, I wanted to show you guys some things that you would love to see happen with the Cowboys. The Cowboys in this particular draft mock draft from Tankathon. They went with Mansour Delane, who I got as your number 1A or 1B DB in this draft, because I got, in my opinion, McCoy is a little bit better than Mansour Delane, but the only problem is he coming off of the ACL, right? So now you have to contextualize the fact, give me the healthy guy, right? But Mansour Delane, whereas he can play outside and inside, he can be your slot or your outside corner. He's 6'1", 187 pounds. Need a sandwich, though. He had 2 INTs last season. One of the things is it's hard to evaluate his tape because out of 5 games, I was looking at his tape, that brother was only targeted 4 times. That brother was only targeted 4 times. So it's the quarterbacks dropped back. Where's that Delane kid at? I ain't throwing it his way. So that's a plus for his draft stock or what have you. And he's a willing tackler. He's a good ball hockey type of guy. And he's very good as it relates to transitioning from zone. He can mirror match. He can redirect. He got moxie about himself. I think that he got a promising future as long as he can stay healthy. Of course, he only played that 1 year with the LSU Tigers, but outside of that, I really like Delane, right? I really like him to a point. If the Cowboys draft him with the 12th pick, he may be good for about 5 or 6 years, man, give or take. He may be one of those guys. TJ Parker, I got him up next as film evaluations. I haven't got a chance to do a deep dive on him. But I do like David Bailey better from what I was able to see. I haven't dove into TJ Parker tape yet, so give us a little time and grace. Jalen Carter would have gotten suspended year 1 if he was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. This is from Jay Sarge. You all right. You all right. Different rules for different teams. You 1,000,000% right. Keon Sabb. Shout out to all of the people that watch Roll Tide. Shout out to them. Alabama. I haven't dove into Keon Sabb tape. And what I'm trying to do now is I'm not going to highlight watch. I'm gonna wait, get down to these guys and watch certain games, watch the good games and bad games, mix it in, and on top of that, watch the snaps and the reps. I'm not going to highlight watch, right? But if in a given time, Tankathon got him as the 112th person ranked on this particular situation, 112th pick for us, I meant to say. And let me see where they got him ranked at. My bad. Keon Sabb. Where the rankings at? They got him 114th overall. So that's right in the wheelhouse. So I'm going to look up Sabb or what have you and see what he can do. But H-Town beat LSU. I feel you, fam. Ice Cold Cowboy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. And shout out to Jay Sarge for everything that you do. All right, so it's 2:35. We got to wrap it up. Got to get out of here by 3 o'clock. I appreciate everybody, man, for tuning in. For this time frame, let's open up the phone lines to get your thoughts on everything. Let's get it.
It starts from the first phone call. Most of the time, you're going to talk to Gene Burkett, a 30-year partner. You're not going to talk to some employee that just got put on the phones that day.
There are things that are so crucial, especially if it's a cataclysmic event, to have our experts get out and look at the vehicle, witness statements, photos, the whole thing.
Call Frenkel first.
Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
Yes, indeed. That's 214-817, and every 3 you can dial. Be sure to reach out to our proud partners at Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, backed by a combined of 100 years of experiences, located here in Dallas. And if you can't dial that number, just visit FrenkelFirm.com, and someone will be able to assist you. I got from the 607, you're live on the nation, brought to you by Frenkel and Frenkel.
What's good, Law?
Nothing much, man. What you got for me today?
Oh, man, no, I'm just saying, but you're definitely right on that BPA, man, best player available, because we've been getting burnt, taking the needs. Mozzie, it's just dumb, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we just got to get the best player. Hopefully Downs, Downs or that boy from Miami. But you know what I want to say? You know, Jerry, this is so funny because is this true, Law, that Shoddy did his whole squad except the defensive coordinator, and Jerry picked the defensive coordinator?
Say that again.
Is it true that Shoddy picked the whole staff except the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, that is true. Defensive coordinator was hired first.
Exactly. So you know what? Like, you guys, let him have his balls back. You know what I mean? Let's see what he can do. Like, let him evaluate. Let him get his guy in there. You know what I'm saying, Jerry? We're tired of you talking. We want results, man. We're tired of having good offenses and then not having good defenses and then trading our best players in the beginning of the seasons. You making stupid moves that make us at the same ending like last year, man. And it's just getting tiring, bro. And I love the Cowboys, but you know what I'm saying? When is it that we can just stop blaming our owner on these fucking mistakes, man?
Right.
Excuse my language, but it's just you know what I'm saying? Like, can we not just say, oh, it's this? It's always, it goes back to Jerry, man. And you know the thing is, and I think this is the truth, I think he's still trying to prove that he can do it without Jimmy. He can get his own people. Like, I still believe that. I still believe he's still thinking, I could do it myself. I could do it myself. No, you can't, Jerry. Come on, man. 30 years, we can't even get to the championship game when we're – bro, every team except the Seahawks, we would blow them out in the playoffs, bro. Any team, I really believe that. If we had just maybe a 1-15 defense, and just maybe if we didn't slip up against Carolina and maybe the ball bounced differently in the Packers game, we would be there. Because the Packers don't look good. I think they're one and done. Like, and it's just sick, man. But you know what, bro? Hopefully we get the BPAs, we get some free agents, you know what I mean? Jerry, I guarantee Jerry will make a move during the Super Bowl. He'll make a move during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah, lying. He'll make a grand announcement.
I'm here on the off season with you, man, Law. So let's just pray for the best, man. Let's pray for the best.
Man. Appreciate you for calling in. Good passion, man. Good energy, man. DJ, thanks for calling in.
DC for life, baby.
No doubt, man. It's my guy DJ, man, from the 607. One of the things that I want to lament the fact that the BPA philosophy versus needs, sometimes the draft will fall right in to where it solidify your need, right? But what I'm getting at and what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to evaluate from all of this is that you got to set up that free agency period so that when you go into the draft, you can only say, hey, best player available. You got a top 15 pick regardless. You should be able to get a top 15 player regardless of the situation and the scenario. So if I comb through a list of players, which I'm still trying to do my own personalized evaluation, ladies and gentlemen, that we should be able to get either of the top guys in any positions. Of course, you got Ty Simpson, you got Garrett Nussmeier, you got John Meters, all of those boys that's for quarterbacks. We ain't worried about that. Dante Moore, Fernando. Yeah, we ain't worried about them guys. And as far as running backs, you got Jeremiah Love, and then you got Jadarian Price. Those are your two running backs, the top running backs that's coming out of the draft. They both from Notre Dame, right? Somebody said that Jeremiah Love may go to the Washington team. The Washington team, they might end up saying, hey, man, we like Jaden Daniels and all of this, but he's skinny leg quarterback, man. We might want to double up. Dante Moore, baby. I'm just messing with y'all. Nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But, they got some things that they have to do. They got some things that they may have to do as far as protecting. They might go with the Francis kid from Miami. Offensive line, they probably have to look back and say, what hurt their number one asset? Offensive line. I think that the Washington team might go get a offensive line. I'm about to say a Washington line. Yeah. So it's so many things, man. But we have the chance of Peter Wood, the defensive line, Vega. We got a chance to a degree, T.J. Parker, David Bailey. We're going to have a shot at it. Sonny Styles, Alvaro Reese. If we looking at this thing for what it is, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. There's 11 people picking ahead of us. Let me pull it up again. There's only 11 people ahead of us. Man, Kansas City Chiefs in a good spot. But I'm quite sure they want to give more and more pieces, more and more weapons on the offensive side of the coin for Kansas City Chiefs. Washington need a wide receiver. Okay, Carnell Tate. Yeah. Giants need a wide receiver. Giants damn near need an offensive lineman, if you think about it. Before I let the next caller on, let's play a little quick game right quick. Let's quick game. We need defense. We all want defense, right? We all want defense. Put a 1 in the chat. We all want defense, right? Put a 2 if you want offense. But just for quicks, not clicks, but quicks right quick. Vegas, they need Jesus over there. They need God. They need God. They need a lot of things in Vegas, man. All right, so we know they going with a quarterback. The Jets, do they need a quarterback too? They're going to be fighting for their quarterback. They might trade up the form to get a quarterback. They need a quarterback. Don't the Jets need a quarterback? They need a quarterback. They need an offensive player. Arizona, they need a quarterback. I'm telling y'all, man, a quarterback, it may be a run on the quarterbacks really quickly because they already talking about moving on from Kyler Murray and them. And they need a head coach and everything. All right? So they go on with offense. I'm quite sure that they going with offense, man. News is saying that the Arizona and them, they tired of their Kyler Murray and Tyler Murray or whoever Murray, Tyler Murray. They tired of him, right? Jets need defense too, but I'm quite sure they need something that can put butts in seats. Let's just play this game with me now. Now they may need the Tennessee might need defense, or they need offensive linemen. I'm gonna say they just drafted, and they got a head coach problem too, right? So I'm thinking Tennessee gonna go with. I think Tennessee gonna go with offensive lineman, y'all. I think the Giants gonna go. They're gonna get scared to go on an offensive line run. We already know the Cleveland Browns. There's no way they're gonna draft defense. Alvell Reed still is there. Sonny Styles is still there, y'all. Y'all see how this is going to work out for us? I'm telling y'all, we at the sweet spot right now. Washington, what y'all said they need a wide receiver. They don't think that they're going to do defense right. But I think the Washington team, if they're really smart, they're going to go with an offensive lineman. I think they're going to protect their number one asset and protect Jaden Daniels, skinny leg quarterback. New Orleans, weird to me. They just read up Kamara. I have to go back and watch New Orleans or what they need or what have you. Let me see where the Saints at where they were at defensive wise. Hold on, man. I'm extending the show now, boy. Y'all got me thinking. Hold on. Zeke! Hold on. Get out of the way, Zeke. Damn. They had the 14th ranked defense. Give us that defense, boy. We going to the Super Bowl. What the hell happened to the New Orleans offense, man? They hired an offensive-minded coach. We won only one more game than the Saints, boy. I can't talk much, boy. We won only one more game than the Saints, boy. Let me get back to this chart. They drafting offense, man. That's where Jeremiah Love might go to the Kansas City Chiefs. But they might go offense, though. I'm thinking like wide receiver, like Cincinnati can be scary if they get a running back. Miami Dolphins. This is our problem is right here. Because I just don't know what them two teams going to do. But damn it, I think Cincinnati need to draft another offensive lineman. They can't be talking about Burrow's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They need an O-line guy. Yeah. They need another offensive line. I don't see where you can make the argument where Avril Reese and Sonny Styles, we might have Ruben Bain, we gonna have some selections, baby. There's gonna be teams picking up the phone and saying, hey, hey, Dallas, what you willing to give up, man? Cincinnati gonna draft defense? Yeah. But they need to protect Joe Burrows, man. They need to protect Burrows and them. Boy, we in a good spot. I don't care what nobody say. I think a lot of people gonna drop. There are a lot of people think that's not gonna drop. I got from the 205 Zeta, not Beta. You live. Talk to me, man.
Yo, I'm looking at the draft board. You hit it right on the head, man. There's going to be a lot of defensive players when we get to select.
Sure, right.
To me, there's only possibly, I think Cincinnati going to draft defense because they're looking to replace Hendrickson.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. They might be in a good spot with 10 though. Yeah.
Speaking of Hendrickson, would you get him in free agency?
Hell yeah. I will offer him an incentive-based contract. I will offer him one of them nice luxury incentive-based contract. I'm talking about throw him a number that he know for sure he can get to 11 sacks, 12 sacks. Incentivize those type of things. And because he averaged about 18, when healthy, 17 to 18 sacks a year. So I'll throw in something like 12 to 13 sacks incentives. We'll throw in an additional $5 to $6 million, something crazy, right? And give him rework his contract. Of course, you're going to have to spread it out. You're going to have to take care of him on the lean years because he's long in the tooth. So maybe a 3-year deal, spread that money out, man, and do something crazy like that.
Yeah, because, speaking of free agency, you don't want to go into the draft. It's like going into the supermarket hungry.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
Right.
So going into free agency, getting what you need, and then, draft players are meant to be developing, like their support. They're supposed to be learning from veterans. They're not supposed to be one day starters.
Right.
So that's the reason why I was thinking about free agency. And one other thing I was about to say, it was something about the defense. Oh, Clowney, or not Clowney, but Matt Eberflus.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Matt Eberflus still ain't fired, man.
I mean, he's just I mean, sure, what they waiting? 3 o'clock. Where you at? 3:49. Where you at? 3:50. Close to 4 o'clock.
It was about. Hey, if you rounded, it's 2:50 right now. So it'll be 3 o'clock in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He still ain't gone.
Come on.
I would think of moving. Everybody getting fired by him. Raheem Morris out that long. Would you get him as a DC?
Well, I'll bring him. Call me crass, but man, I'm crazy as hell. After I fire Matt Eberflus, I'll bring him in for an interview. They'll check mark my Rooney Rule.
He's better than what we got right now.
Yeah, him and Jeff Albrecht, whatever they were talking about. I'll bring Raheem Morris in. That will solidify my Rooney Rule qualification. And then I would really drill him, though. I would really drill him on what he can and can't do for the Cowboys as far as defensive-wise. I would not dance with the first lady I see, though. That what most people thinking that what I'm saying is that you just go ahead and get a Todd Bowles or a Raheem Morris. No. You bring them in for an interview, man.
Right. And one other point before I let these other callers on here. Jerry Jones. Jerry, man. So I was listening to Jerry Jones about 2 weeks ago, maybe it was a week ago, when we lost. We lost the game. Mm-hmm. And Jerry, after the game, said management is the reason why the Cowboys have been losing for the past 30 years.
Oh, he said that?
Do you know I almost threw my phone across the room?
Send that clip to me, man. I'm going to use that as a drop,
Like Jerry said management is the reason. Not him.
Uh-huh.
Not him. He don't want to take the blame. He don't want to take the fault. Because Jerry, what I've noticed about Dallas over the past couple of decades, Dallas has this tendency, and it all stems from Jerry. They have this what the hell mentality. Like they don't care.
Yeah.
Jerry, and nobody on this team cares because it all stems from him. Nobody gives a damn. And I'm not taking shots at Dak when I say this, but I've never seen a quarterback smile more after L's than Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Nobody is fazed if they lose or win.
I didn't like that as well. And I guess because I don't like to lose, right? And me growing up in a different era, I know my kind of quarterbacks didn't like to lose. And I'm not beating up Dak because now I'm going to get some Dak apologists to come at me, right?
Right.
And they're going to beat me up. They're going to beat me up. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, y'all got to hear me out. Troy was pissed off every loss. You know what I'm saying? And I know this is a different era, different world that we lived in, but you can see the countenance on his face after a loss. It wasn't no keying and cheering and laughing and all of this stuff. So it just hurts me a little bit when I see players keying and laughing, or coaches making jokes in press conference, man, when you're not in the playoffs,
man.
you know. It's just different world, man.
That just hurt me, man. And I understand we're in different times, man, but look, I don't know, man. And Shotty said he want to build a culture. After we lose, I don't want to see no teeth.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no teeth after an L, man.
Yeah.
Like, this season was a F.
Yeah.
And one other thing about Jim Schwartz law, look, if Jim Schwartz is there, you go get him. But here's the thing about Dallas that I know.
Yeah.
We never have a complete team.
Yeah.
We never have a complete team. It's either we have a super offense and our defense is mid, or we got a strong defense and the offense is mid.
Yeah.
Either you got 2023 or you got 2022. They were not the same team at all. 1 year apart.
Yeah.
It don't make sense to me. Them teams are only 1 year apart, Law, and they're completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
It's just too much, man. It's just too much. Dak has never had a complete team. Even though when he was drafted in 2016 and he came into Zeke, because that still wasn't his team. Dak has still never really had a roster that was favored in his favor.
In his favor, yeah.
Until now, probably.
Until now. We move too slow, man. But appreciate you, man. Thank you, man, so much for calling in, fam.
Oh, yeah, Law.
Yeah. And there was no shot at Dak, though, by the way, and all of the people that support Dak to that degree, because, you know, I'm considered a Dak apologist, too. I don't say anything negative about him, according to most people. And Dak is my guy, you know. Here's another thing. B. Cuff says, y'all just shooting in the dark for content now. They said we content creators. What you think we supposed to do? You know, that what burns me a little bit. Let me pick on him, Dan. He picking on me. Look, B Cuff, that's what we supposed to do. We flipped the whole thing around that now you got people from the 4-ladder, 3-ladder network. Guess what they doing? Shooting in the dark, doing content creation. We started this. We built this stuff brick by brick. So now you got people from the 3-ladder, the 4-ladder network. They hogging up the damn space now. That's what we're supposed to do. Now watch, there's going to be a full segment sponsored and brought to you by X, Y, and Z, and they're going to be doing the same type of thing. That's what gets me mad about people that jumping in here. And are y'all enjoying yourselves? Would y'all rather just talk about nothing? Or y'all would rather sit here and be think pieces and thinking about this and calling in, giving our thoughts and our emotions about the game? I can go home. You know what I'm saying? I'm at home. I don't have to do this. So for either y'all gonna sit back and enjoy the content or don't talk at all and go do something else, go fishing. Yes, we all shooting in the dark. Cowboys gonna be 365 every day. We gonna talk. We gonna give our opinions about the game. It might not ever change. Jerry probably don't even listen to us. Probably don't even think about what we're saying. But damn it, I know for sure we got their attentions. If I can show y'all how many cease and desist letters I done got. So I know I'm doing something right, shooting in this damn dark. So yeah, we should all be shooting in the dark, talking about content and stuff. But if y'all don't like what we saying, go fishing. This video, when it's all said and done, still 1,000 people gonna watch it, and over 1,000 people gonna watch it on Instagram, and over 1,000 people gonna watch it on Facebook. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Fortunately, for the Cowboys season, for 30 years, 30 seasons. So at least now people can vent, they can voice their frustrations off, and guess what? We're right about a whole bunch of stuff. I got literally players. Now I'm like that old man, get off my lawn. I got players reach out to me. True story. they value what I say more than the 3-letter, 4-letter network. So, shoot, I'm sitting like, shoot, I done made it now. Shoot, mama, I done made it. From the heavens, mama, I made it now. Shoot, they worry about what I'm saying versus what Stephen A. Smith or any of those jackleg wags that's on this damn 3-letter, 4-letter network. So I'm happy. Yeah, so yeah, I shoot in the dark, but they taking writing notes and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, let's go. I got Kobe from the 817. You're live on the Nation, brought to you by FrenkelFirm.com.
My God, what's going on?
Not much, bro.
Man, all right, it's all season, man. So I guess we can do a little dreaming now.
Come on with it, man. Shoot in the dark for me, man.
Okay. All right, I got this little scenario. You tell me if you like it. So we find Matt Eberflus. Whenever that happens, we go get Brian Flores, pay him about $4 million a year.
Yeah.
Give him about 3-4 years of contract worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no cap on coaching. So we get him.
Right.
I like that secondary coach he got. He's pretty good too. So bring him along with you.
Uh-huh.
But also bring that old veteran Harrison Smith with you. We ain't had safety play like that in a very long time.
Mm.
So you bring Harrison Smith, you get Caleb Downs at 12, and you go get Trey Henderson in the free agency and match him up with Clowney. You got Clowney, Clark, Williams, and Henderson on your D-line, and trade up to the second round or with that second pick, get Anthony Hill from Texas, because I'm sure Sonny Styles going to be gone. Or go get you think Master Delane will be there in the 20 pick? Because if we look at it, Quinyon Mitchell, I think he was drafted like 22nd overall.
Mm-hmm.
That Joey Porter kid, remember he was a big talk in Penn State. He was drafted 20 or 21st overall. So you know those top rated corners out of McCoy and Master Delane, I think out of either one of them, I think it'll be good for our second pick in the first round. What you think about that? I know that was a lot to untail, right? That was just a lot I just said.
Man, bro, you spit a lot at me, bro. Oh my God. Nah.
But I told you it's dreaming season, so I'm dreaming like a bug, man. That's all I'm doing.
Nah, man, I'm following you, but what's your plan of action, like, if that all kind of like falls in, like who are you moving out the way, though, you know?
What you mean?
Like break it down, like the skill set that you absolutely look for out of the draft and all of this movement stuff. Like, what do you look for, though?
Man, I don't want no edge rusher.
Okay.
I mean, I love the edge rusher theory. You know, you got a great edge rusher, you know. But if we look at the Super Bowls, man, there's no edge rusher that really, since Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, that was like the last two premier edge rushers. I think defensive tackle, I think is important. So I want to leave that where it's at. I love Clowney give him a 2-year deal, you know, leave him on there and bring Ezeraku up, you know, mature him. He's a 16 sack guy. He just needs to learn and be under the right system, I feel, is what hurt that youngster the most this year, is that he just wasn't under the right system. I think that's what hurt him the most. But I wouldn't attack edge in this draft. And that's just me. I love Bain. I love Bailey. I think Bailey's a littler, undersized for his size. I think he's like 230 or something like that. So he's very, very, you know, skinny. Bain has the short arms. Yeah, I like Howell.
Cassius,
out of A&M.
Yeah, I got him on my list too. I got him, T.J. Parker. I did the David Bailey thing. When you looking at tape, David Bailey looks like Donovan Ezeraku, but he got some refineries of his moves, and his production level was less than what Donovan Ezeraku did. So I'm like, I don't know, but the draft is such a fickle thing that David Bailey might pick up things a whole lot quicker. You just never know, and you just never know, man. So that's why it's a crap shot.
Know.
Yeah, you just shooting in the dark.
That's why I don't want to attack that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go with the edge rusher and then wait for expectation. I want a season. I want to add Trey Henderson with Clowney. I think that those are dominant. You know, like they might fade out throughout the year, but that's why you got the youngsters to relieve them. You know what I mean? I'll bring Houston back. He was very productive. I'll bring him back. I love Sam Williams. He's been here for a while. I just think his time is up, so I wouldn't re-sign him. So my 4 edge rushers going into the season, if I had it my way, if my last name was Jones, would be Trey Hendrickson. I'll get him on a deal that you were just talking to the last caller.
Right.
On a deal like that. Bring Black Clowney for 2 years. He's always had these 1-year deals with all these teams. I'll give him a 2-year contract. So it'll be him. Him and Henderson will be my starters. Then behind them will be Ezaraku and Houston, just to relieve them throughout the season. Our interior is very good. I'll start there. And then when we talk about linebacker play, I love what Overshown is giving me. I like Anthony Hill. And honestly, man, if we bring a DC in, I want him to really, really look at Maris Leofow and think about moving him to a Mike or giving him more opportunities in the linebacker room. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's been the problem with him getting on the field and staying on it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I definitely will look at some more things, man. But appreciate you for calling in, man. Appreciate
Yes, sir. I'll
Good
talk
call
to you later.
No doubt. All right, we're gonna let the next caller on. That's a good call from my guy Kobe. Mears live foul, playing weight is 235. So he might be a little too big to be a safety, is he? Maybe a little bit too big, but he can be blitz guy. He's a little smaller size to be even on certain linebackers roles, right? 235. He's a tweener, right? Is Mears live foul considered a tweener? Y'all, as far as the linebacker people, man, do y'all see? Like, I don't think his size was a problem, though, just to be real. But he's 235. Don't he need to be like 240, 245? I don't know. Is he just? Let me see how tall Mears is. Hold on, give me 1 second. He's 6'2", 235. He's 24 years of age. I think that this season, I do not want to call it a regress of Mears live foul. I thought that he had some good moments. I think that the coach was stubborn to a degree because he didn't do things that he wanted him to do. All right. Let me see. He said he about the same size as Malik Hooker. Let me see. I think Malik Hooker's about 220-ish. Malik Hooker. Hold on. Let me see where he at. Bear with me. Malik Hooker is 6'2", 212, 215. So he's about 15 pounds bigger. I don't know. And he's one of your older guys on the team. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next caller, man, and let's go to. We're gonna line them up. Y'all get ready. This is my favorite caller. He gonna lift up everything. I already know. If this my guy. Now there's somebody else from the 901. I don't who 901 this is, man. Who this is from the 901?
This pulpit, man. I'm on this pulpit. This my comedy name. This my mission. This is my service name. I'm a preacher up here in DC. I live in DC, man. I'm from Memphis. So I got a Memphis number.
You got a Memphis number. Okay, pulpit. You know what I'm saying? That's your name.
Yeah, I'm always on the Paul Fennebaum show. You'll hear me on there sometimes. Paul is from Memphis, so he went to my high school, White Station in Memphis. So he always let me on and always tell me about how much I hate Josh Heupel. But let me say this as a real Cowboy fan.
Come on with it,
man. If I hear one more Cowboy fan call on your show. What's your name again, man? I forgot. Forgive me. Money. Law. Man, if I want, and it's funny that you say Law, because Gotti my man too. So I love that song he got called Law.
Okay.
Man, if I hear one more Cowboy fan get on this radio talking about how much Donovan Ezerique was a good draft pick, man, I'm gonna lose my mind, man. Jerry and them had no business. Now, y'all got to remember this. Defensive line ain't stopped the run in 30 years.
Yeah.
It ain't been 2 years. We couldn't stop the run with Dan Quinn. So when Jerry said what he said the other day, he was trying to mop up all the stuff he did with Dan Quinn, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt Eberflus needs to be gone. He needs to be gone right now. But Donovan and Zeracui, I'm going to tell you why that was such an awful draft pick. Because everybody got fooled by the fact that he had 16 sacks at Boston College when he wasn't playing against no high-level competition. And the fact is, man, Jack Sawyer, who scooped and scored in AT&T Stadium from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Dallas should have drafted him. He's doing well for Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
Okay.
Or they should have drafted J.T. Timalu, who was 6'4", 270 pounds, man, to set the edge, who can rush the passer and stop the run. Man, that was on Will McClay. That was Will McClay, Matt Eberflus, and Jerry and them dumbasses with their low-ass IQ who can't see talent no more, man. Will McClay need to be fired, too, because they can't see talent no more. The problem with Dallas is, see, everybody keep talking about these schemes and all this other stuff. Man, Dallas, like you said, or like the other caller said, man, Dallas needs to get big in the middle. We need to get bigger in the middle. Even though we got Williams and we got Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is older. Williams still ain't number 310 pounds, man. We've been drafting 310-pound niggas for the longest. Bohannon didn't work out because Dan Quinn would not play Bohannon. I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
I know Bohannon's daddy. So the thing is, man.
Hey, they can rap too. They from that area. Go ahead. You see what? I knew you know some stuff over there. See, yeah. Shout out to Bohannons, man. They rapping and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, but see, no, Bohannon played in Kentucky. So and he was 365 pounds, man, and he always got a push. He had a push. He was getting in the back. But it's just like with Dallas, man. The problem is we'll draft these players, but we can't. What's the word I'm trying to use? We can't develop. It's development, man, and that's why we need Brian Flores or Jim Schwartz because and I'll say Al Harris. You know what? I would give Al Harris a shot too, man.
Yeah.
But these players we draft need to be developed, and I'm gonna tell you something. When Matt Eberflus got there. And we draft. I said, I'm gonna see who they drafted defensive tackle. We got this kid out of UCLA, 340 pounds, 345 pounds. They didn't even play him, man. They played him 2 games. Yeah, Toya. And I said to myself, he can't be. When I saw why he wasn't on there, it says head coaching decision. I said, you know what? Every time I see head coaching decision, don't y'all be fooled. Every time y'all see head coach's decision, why these players who are rookies who need to be playing, what that tells you is the coaches ain't doing their job. That's what they should tell you. Because if it's a coach's decision and you know you can't stop the run and they at least got you a 345-pound defensive tackle, man, Zeracui has no business. And I'm going to say this. Man, Zeracui ain't got no business in the NFL. And if he is in the NFL, they should put him at outside linebacker. He ain't got no business being on the defensive end line, man, in the NFL. I don't care what nobody says. That's been awful. He has been an embarrassment. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, that was disrespectful. With the number 2 pick, after you just saw Will Sawyer scoop and score against Texas in AT&T Stadium off of a national championship team, and you bring in a nigga, man, that can't even put a push on unless it's 3 or 4 people pushing the offensive line back.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
He ain't got but 1 sack the whole year. And every time you see a stupid-ass Cowboy fan talking about, man, it's Zeracui, man, you know, he set the edge, he do this. That's exactly why Jerry and them keep pulling the BS that they keep pulling, because they know Cowboy fans stupid. And we'll fall for anything. But that's a mess, man. Let me tell you something. Law,
What's up,
ever
man?
since we drafted him over Jack Sawyer and JT Talmaluta out of Ohio State, man, I've been livid the whole season.
Man.
I've been hot about that shit, man, because it didn't make no sense when your defense couldn't stop nobody last year. You had your defense couldn't stop the run, and then you put a doggone Pee Wee League Negro on the defensive line,
So
man. That don't make no sense.
So Pulpit, man, I gotta ask you, man. So you said that it's not Matt Eberflus, that it's the players that's the problem.
He is Matt Eberflus. Let me tell you something.
What is it there? Is it both or what's going on? You gotta help us out, Pulpit. Come on, man. Come on, preacher. Come on.
It's both. They had no business bringing Matt Eberflus after they saw what he did in Chicago. and not only that.
In closing, Pastor, what you got?
And not only that, when Matt Eberflus could not make a person, when he couldn't develop Tua, who was 345 pounds. If you can't come to Dallas and say to yourself, the first thing I got to fix is to make sure can't nobody run on us. If you can't fix that right from the jump, you don't need to be the defensive coordinator. And if you can't develop bigger, stronger, and Tua got good feet on him. That's why I say Dallas need to get Sonny Styles at linebacker, maybe if he there. If Bain is there, they need to draft Bain. I don't care what nobody say. If they need to draft Bain, or they need to go to Styles, and then maybe get Caleb Downs with the second pick if he's still there. Or they need to get that big old boy out of Ole Miss. I can't think
But in closing, man, let people know, man, where they can find and follow you, man, and support you in all of your good ways, man.
Well, for right now, man, I'm not on anything yet. So, but the thing is, I might get a podcast, man. I'll call you in and have you when I do get one, I'm gonna make sure I chime you in because I like how you think.
Man,
I like how you think, and it's about getting these Cowboy fans to understand. Man, forget a scheme. You need to get bigger and faster up front. That's what the problem with the Cowboys is, man. We need to be bigger.
Yes, we need to appreciate you, man.
ain't even got no business being a defensive tackle. Ozzy need to be a defensive end.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you calling in. That's Pulpit,
no doubt,
man.
man.
Cowboys, man, for the 901, man. Oh, man. I thought that was my guy for the 901 boys, man. They be like, shout out Memphis, shout out Tupac, shout out Mississippi. I thought that was him. So when I clicked on it, they sound the same, but they ain't the same. You get what I'm saying? So is everyone for the 901 sound like that? Because he was projecting his voice the same way. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, I know I'm finna get crunk, man, with my guy from the 901. And then, oh my gosh, Pulpit, I gave him a new name, Cowboys, man. Comedian. He said, at least he said he's a comedian. So that's why I gave him a little pass, man, because I don't know if he was trying to be real with Donovan as a Raku or not. That was funny, man. I needed that laugh, man. I needed that one, y'all. Y'all just don't know, man. And shout out to all my people, man, from Memphis and Tennessee and Mississippi and all of that with that certain dialect and that tone of their voice, man. Yes, indeed, man. All right, so I got someone that's in between, Mississippi and Texas, and they from the 318. Shout out to us, man. Can you lay it straight for us, man? Come on with it. What you got for me?
What's good, Law?
What's good, man?
Hey, so look, I'ma just name off some concerns or problems I had just with the offense or defense this year and like what we need to fix. Let's just start with the offense. And this one thing you've been talking about, and I don't understand why nobody else, like any analyst, haven't brought this up, but for us to pay Ferguson $50 million. This dude is dropping the ball. He's letting the ball go too much. Ferguson is my guy. And like, just when we just played, even though he was down on that Ferguson, for you to have 50 million, this ball is touching the ground too much. And what's the dude name that you be talking about? Like, I think he's 89. I can't remember his full name.
Brevin and them. Yeah, span forward. Yeah.
Man, for that size and how he moves, Ferguson better look out. He better look out because he can really do something in the future. So, with the Ferguson and all that, now, if going into the draft, say, I really wouldn't go with anybody for the offense. If I would, I would say get another tackle. I really don't really like the idea of moving Tyler Smith to tackle because that's an all-pro guard. It's just so hard to find them all-pro guards. But I would just go ahead and draft a tackle, and then I would really let either Tyler Godden or Steele really battle for that starting spot, and then that other person we need for that tackle spot. And then let's go to Shotty. The only thing I had with Shotty this year, I felt like whenever we got to the red zone, he started getting too pass friendly. With us having Javonte Williams, how hard he runs, just give him the ball.
Just give him the ball. You ain't lying, man. Shoot.
Just give him the ball down there.
You ain't lying.
I felt like Coach Shotty, he did good with play call. I like how he called plays, but I feel like when we just got down there, he either started getting a little bit too cute with the designs or too pass friendly. We got a running back there. This dude is running through people. It's taking 2 or 3 people to tackle him. You telling me we can't give him the ball 2 to 3 times when we in the goal line? Nobody ain't stopping Javonte Williams 3 times in a row. It's just not going to happen. The last thing I'm going to say about the offense before I move to the defense. Tell me how you feel about this. I know a lot of people been talking about, drafting another running back. But me personally, I like for, Javonte with the starter and Malik Davis, he really surprised me this year. To say that I'd say he kind of earned the spot to going into next season to be that that second running back spot. But how Blue finally played, he finally gave me hope.
Right.
It just to think about Javonte Williams, Malik and Blue. With Malik and Blue switching out, it reminds me of when I felt like our offense was the best when we had that Zeke and Pollard combination. We got that in closing
though. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just stick with that. With just that hard running and then that speed. I feel like we really need it. But, I know we got a lot of people, so I'm going to just leave it off at that.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man, for calling in. And shout out to Shreveport. A lot of people asking. They say, I know that accent. Is that where you from?
Yeah, hey, it is. You got it right on the money. Yeah, I'm in Shreveport.
Man, appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in, man. Shreveport, Bossier City. Shout out to 50 Cent. He revamping that whole area. Shout out to Clarissa Shields, too, by the way. I hope they put that olive branch out there. One thing that I want to say for sure is that the draft is always the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, we can get better. Look what a difference a year can make. None of us seen the damn Chicago Bears going to the playoff this season, right? None of us had the Carolina Panthers going to the playoffs. It's a year-to-year league, man. It's difficult. And look at your Denver Broncos, the way Sean Payton turned that program around, and the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams and all of them. All of those teams where we looked at the Rams, we always knew that they was well coached and well GM'd and all of that. But a difference a year can make can be very good. And I know we looking at it from the doom and gloom aspect, but we also got to spread into some sparkling optimisms in this particular look too, by the way. All right, so we're going to, y'all make the calls real quick. I'm supposed to end it at 3 o'clock. We 20 minutes over. So if y'all can, continue to hit that like button, share this content. And I got a boogie, though, but y'all just make it real quick, man. Get a 1 point in and get on out. I don't want to do clock game or none of that, but I really want to talk to the people that's here. I'm going to lock it down.
Has been locked.
Walk away from the 972. You're live on the nation, man. Talk to me.
Hello, what up?
Well, not much, Chief, man. What you got for me today?
I'll keep it short. Yeah, this is probably the biggest off. I'm gonna say it. This is the biggest off season in 20 years since we lost. This is the first time we've had back-to-back losing seasons since the Dave Campo 3, 5, and 11 seasons, and it changed after that. They hired Bill Parcells, and we changed. I think this off season, this is very important. I think the Cowboys, I think they're gonna go all in, and I think they're gonna surprise us. They're gonna have to.
They got to, man.
And about Quentin Bohanna. I looked. Hold on. I gotta address that real quick. He's been on 5 teams in 5 years.
Wow.
So you're telling me that guy that called earlier, give Ezraku a chance. You're telling me I need to give Quentin Bohanna a chance. You're saying 5 different teams misevaluated Quentin Bohanna, and he was cut by the Seahawks this year, and they got a beast defense.
Yeah, they do, man.
So they know how to evaluate defensive players.
Yep. You ain't lying.
So that guy don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Get off of them. Yeah, you get off our guys on
Get
that
off Ezraku.
Yeah,
you don't know
Ezraku.
what you're talking about.
No
Year
doubt,
1.
man.
Tom Landry said you need 3 years for D-line to develop.
Yeah,
3 seasons.
3 seasons, man.
I listened to Tom Landry before your ass.
Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate you. Walk away, my God, man, with the bomb, the truth bomb, man. Yeah, I mean, Donovan Ezraku, he had a lot, and I mean just that, a lot of pressures this season. Did they go into sacks? No. Not everybody's a Michael Parsons or that guy that the Atlanta Falcons drafted. I think he had 10 sacks for the season. So not everybody are those guys too, by the way. So it's difficult, man, being a guy that coaches this team and these sorts of things, man. I'm just trying to fix my platform up, y'all. Y'all bear with me. There's something wrong with my little bars and windows over here. It's not giving me the angle that I need in order to see everything. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can fix this around. There we go. I got from the 915. You're live on the nation. Talk to me.
Law Nation.
Yeah, what's good?
I just got to say one thing, man. Kurt Cignetti.
Say that again?
Kurt Cignetti, the coach of Indiana Hoosiers.
Cignetti.
Yeah, the coach.
Okay.
Of Indiana, the college football team. That guy needs to be our next head coach.
What did he do? He's
Period.
defense, offense. What's his background in?
Winning.
Okay.
Google him.
Okay.
Google him.
Spell it for me, man. I'm hooked on phonics law over here, man. You know,
Man,
take me a minute.
Cignetti.
Okay. I'm gonna look him up, man.
The coach from Indiana, the number one team in college football.
Okay. All right, and see.
Look him up. He's a winner. You get him 2 years. He took Indiana from a basketball team to the number one team. You bring him over here, Dallas, Super Bowl. Real simple. Love you, man. We
Much
out.
love, man. Appreciate you, man. All right, got me looking up. I couldn't hear his accent. I was like spaghetti, man. Like what? Boy, some spaghetti right now, some cheese and stuff like that, man. Yeah. Okay, Indiana Hoosiers. Kurt Cignetti. Was he an offensive mind, a defensive line? He like winning. It's a different world. You step into this football field on the pro side. Let me see. Cignetti. Man, he make $11.6 million. He gonna take a pay cut to come here? He make more money. All right, 144 and 37. Okay. In shorts, man, is he a defensive guy or a offensive guy? In the chat, y'all who follow the Indiana Hoosiers, y'all let me know. They got a guy named D'Angelo Pons. He's on my list to look up far as defensive back. D'Angelo Pons, man. I'm looking him up far as defensive back. He's a Nick Saban's type of guy. Okay, shout out to you, Perry Locke. All right, head coach. All right, I got from the 571. You're live.
Hey, Law.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, look, man. I'll say this. I want to fire everybody. I don't want Schottenheimer. I wasn't impressed with him from the beginning. And the reason why I say that is he's another rah-rah, another Jason Garrett guy. When you're the head coach, your defense is killing you. You don't sit in press conferences and try to, quote-unquote, protect the guy we all know you didn't hire. You say, we're going to make changes, we're going to fix it. No personnel's going on the field. You're trading for guys, Logan Wilson, you're not putting them out there. We watching K9 get whipped at middle linebacker, you still letting him go out there. You got press man cover corners, and you still letting your DC call zone, and you watching it lose you games, which lets me know you're more of a splendor version of Pete Carroll. You're not really that guy. You're talking a lot, but you ain't really a head coach really to your core kind of guy. Because if you was, you would have made changes with Eberflus before this. Al Harris is the answer at DC. Look at what's happening to Dan Quinn up there in Washington, D.C. They talking about calling for his head. I live in the D.C. area because they're not getting them turnovers because their defense has sucked for 2 years. Al Harris went to Chicago, still getting results. So to me, he must have been the key to what was helping Dan Quinn look good, along with Michael Parsons. I ain't crazy. Along with Michael Parsons' pass rush and Tank Lawrence, he must have been the key on the back end because Dan is suffering without him. We suffering without him. You got Mike Zimmer, who came in here, cheap guy who they know. Eberflus, cheap guy who they know. He sat up there and told all of us, head coach Schottenheimer's a big risk. No, it ain't. Because you pick more guys like Schottenheimer, Jason Garrett, Dave Campos. You pick them kind of guys more than you pick Parcells or Jimmy Johnsons. You don't pick, when you got Mike McCarthy, what was a cheap guy who didn't want no control. So as long as we're not giving up any money and we're not giving up any control, that's what Jerry wants. He ain't gonna ever bring no coach here that want to get paid like you just said about Signetti, or that's gonna want some personnel control like Ben Johnson did. We watching Cohen and Ben Johnson turn around two horrible teams, and you let it alone. We out the playoffs. Thanks for your time, Law.
Appreciate you, Marquise, man. Appreciate you from the 571. Good delivery on this punch and everything about X, Y, and Z factors. I'm willing to give Schottenheimer a little grace. Not that much mercy, but I give him a grace. Matt Eberflus, no grace, no mercy, right? Because he said things that really you can't take back. Like if I were to do it all over again, I would do it the same way. Or not being able to make the necessary adjustments. I'm with the belief, real talk, even if we win 8 to 9 games consecutive, like next year, right? And if you keep the same format, there will still be doom and gloom down the stretch because I need a coach that can adapt. I need a coach that can be creative. I need a coach that can be able to move things on the fly, and everything is not going to be right. And this gives me shades, to a degree, of Jason Garrett. I like Jason Garrett as a person. Jason Garrett probably as a quarterback coach. Right now, Jason Garrett should be just now getting interviews for being a head coach. Not that soon in 2007. He should have been able to be rolling up his sleeve, working as a personnel or something like that, as far as a quarterback coach, then the offensive coordinator. And right now should have been the time frame of Jason Garrett. But what we did here is we went through growing pains with Jason Garrett, and he was considered the next bright phenom. But the thing is, with Jason Garrett, when he was here, everything had to be perfect in order to get a win. We didn't have any coaching advantage. And now we are seeing the same thing as it relates to the defensive side of the coin with Matt Eberflus. What type of advantage from a coaching standpoint will you receive from these guys? And we haven't been getting that on Cowboys world as we have a coaching advantage. There were some games that we had coaching advantage with offense. That's why I'm giving Schottenheimer a little pass. I just need Schottenheimer to wake up and be a little bit more assertive. You might not can out-talk Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, but damn it, your people, your subordinates, the people that's under you, I need to see something happen, something shake. We need to have Schottenheimer first fire as it relates to his staff. I need for Schottenheimer to walk into that office and say, hey, Matt Eberflus, I love you, man. We're going to love on these players. These are his words. We're going to love on these players, make sure they get back to the facility. But he need to have that first fire of him saying, Matt Eberflus, come to my office. I'm the head coach. You are beneath me at this point. Understand the roles. There's the door. We appreciate you. I know it's a difficult time this season, but unfortunately, I got a program to build here, and this is uncomfortable. I get it. We lost a player. Hey, here's some Kleenex, man. You can wipe them tears up, but there will be other opportunities, even though I embrace the fact that you came here and you showed me a few things as it relates to your previous head coaching possibilities and these sorts of things, but it's not enough. Therefore, we're going to have to part our ways. That should be, if Jerry Jones was really smart, he would empower Schottenheimer to make his first fire. That was a man, shoot. You got better chances of finding that leprechaun at the end of that rainbow, Law. Yeah. But that's just, Schottenheimer first fire should be Matt Eberflus. It should be a polite fire, too. Yeah. Come on in, grab your notepad and all of this stuff. Let's have some shots of some beer or something, whatever he do. From the 469, what's on your mind? Talk to me.
Hey, real quick, Law, my two key things that I'm out, man, adaptability and basically execution. And we all forget what Stephen Jones said like 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, well, if you go all in, you lose all your chances of going to the Super Bowl and being in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. Well, look at the damn Rams. Yeah. I mean, God, they only missed the playoffs one time, or maybe within those years, and now competing again with having especially great players. So I'm not saying, basically my point is, Cowboys need to change their ways. And now back-to-back losing seasons that we have nothing to show for it, Law.
Right.
That's embarrassing. That's all I got. Peace out.
That's a good call from my guy from the 469, man. Man, boy, this show, man, I appreciate all of y'all. Love y'all to the stars and back. Thank those who support the channel by subscribing, sharing, and caring and all of this good stuff. But, yeah, somebody said, man, Jerry Jones ain't doing all of that, and shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Lokes, man, for doing what he do. That should be the first fire for
Goodbye.
And that's one of the things we need to have around here. Somebody got to get fired. Somebody, not everybody doing a good job. On a Black Monday, somebody need to get fired. Everybody ain't doing their job correctly. I know you don't want somebody to get fired and they fool around and start leaking information about this and that, but that comes with the territory. You can't put out this levels of productivity and then say nobody's getting fired. And that's been our problem in 2023. Technically, nobody was fired. Not a single soul. Everybody was granted their walking papers, and they had the option to come back or not. If Dan Quinn wanted to coach this team in 2024, he would have been here. He would have been here. But, Jerry, get up, wake up. I got some Johnny Walker Blue for you, Jerry. Somebody here got to roll. Somebody. Just somebody, man. Just the equipment staff just walking in a little too late. Fire somebody, Schottenheimer. You can't just make love to everybody. You got to. You got to. Jerry want the headlines. That's why people are saying that that's what's waiting for him. That's why he's not, dare I say, busy. Going out there. Of making the real due diligence. It's crazy. Somebody need to get fired, man. Somebody need to get let go. Somebody need to get their walking papers. Jerry, Doing the due diligence of this particular situation, I'm in my Oxnard mode. Y'all see that? When y'all see that picture right there, I'm in Oxnard mode, meaning that I'm ready to get ready. The pathway to all of this, coaches got to also coach coaches. And when the results are not done, somebody got to answer to it. You know, as we talk about dictatorship, and we talk about leaderships, we talk about delegations for the nations without hesitations nor deviation to this matter, is that something got to give. Even the grand creator, God, chastises the ones he loves. Even that there are rules and regulations. You can call out to the creator and said, hey, please forgive me. Please give me a second chance. Please give me a fifth chance. Grant me mercy. Grant me a little grace. And the Creator will still say, although I will grant you those things, consequences are still on the table. It reminded me of a story back in the days when they told David not to number his troops. And David stood boldly and said, I'm gonna count them anyway. Because people fail to realize after he slew Goliath, the big giant that he was, there was multiple other giants. He had to also fight Goliath brothers who were also giants. And they were looking for revenge. And after he conquered those guys, he wanted to flex and say, hey, this is how many troops I had. Regardless of the situation, I'm gonna make it very short. He went against the word, and he still had to submit to those consequences, regardless of how successful you may be or how bad you may be. Those consequences are still there. So Schottenheimer, Hootenheimer, or any Heimer, you're going to have to fire somebody. We need some prices to be paid. You can't just sit back and say, job well done to all of these guys. Think about all of the people that put in blood, sweat, and tears, time away from their families, putting in their body on the line to play this game, or for those who reached way down in the deeps of their pockets to come to the game, that took vacation time to watch this mess called the Cowboys this season, who we get spit upon, brutalized from the 3-ladder to 4-ladder network. I can book it. We will still be the lead on all of these shows as it relates to playoff talk and what the Cowboys' next move, who we gonna pay, will it be a franchise tag or not on George Pickens, will Dak Prescott make a comeback next season, who will be the defensive coordinator. All of those things are going to be headlines going into the postseason, and we sitting down with a big bag of popcorn watching this. David was a menace with that slingshot. You ain't lying. I wonder what he would do with a machine gun or a machete. Yeah. Yeah. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's stand tall or not at all. And when you up against the struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. And when it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fall, you may conquer, see it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim. But don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If worse is bound to happen in spite of all that you do, remember, running from it will not save you. See it through, Cowboys Nation, and everyone that's watching. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, sounds of soft souls, hits, oldies. Run it up, baby. Just remember this right here.
I wake up, thumb down that check. No drip this, tell him run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell him run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down that check. No drip this, tell him run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell him run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady.
Yeah.
The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy.
Come on, baby.
Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ.
Come on, baby. I don't know if we're going to get that 6 this year. But next year is always on the table.
Check. No drip this. Tell him run it up. No sleep.
All right. Appreciate you all. Craig, thank you for subscribing. J Diz, Welch Game Plan Podcast. Gina, appreciate you. 427 Swayze, Dr. Q, appreciate you. J Sarge, thank everybody for running and locking in with me.
Take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in